Hey, what's up everybody? Hammer Metal Reviews here once again. Today we're doing another edition in my series where I'm going through 5 underrated albums from my CD collection. This, I believe, is volume 5 in this series. Basically, I've been doing this every month since the start of the year. I'm just picking 5 CDs from my collection that I feel are underrated. Either the band itself I consider to be underrated, or maybe the album is underrated in the scope of the band's discography. It's basically just 5 albums that I own that I feel like talking about and that I think you should go check out. So if you haven't watched the previous 4 volumes in this series, definitely go check those out. And I'm not going to do too long of a spiel here. Let's just get into this and talk about some albums today. So the first one that I got here is Vanum with their album Ageless Fire. So this is a US black metal band. They have 3 full lengths to date. This is their sophomore album. I don't own the debut, I gotta get that still, but I do have this one and the 3rd album, Legend, which is also great. But yeah, I chose Ageless Fire. This is the album that got me into the band, and it is just really, truly epic black metal. The vocals are a little bit different for black metal. It's not the high-pitched, raspy tone that you're used to hearing with black metal. It's a little bit non-typical that way. It's a little bit more gruff and lower. But these songs, they're mostly like mid-paced, also almost like marching tempos that really build up the epicness. Definitely a huge Chthonic and Bathory influence. And like from the moment you press play on this album, it's just ridiculously epic and awesome. Like the opening track, War, is just an instrumental that kind of sets the stage for everything. And then it goes into just killer aggressive songs like Jaws of Rapture, Under the Banner of Death is probably my favorite track on here. But really this whole album is just awesome. I feel like this band as a whole is underrated. Their most recent album, Legend, is absolutely amazing as well. So definitely go check out all their stuff. But I chose this one for today. Go give Ageless Fire a listen if you have not. Alright, up next, gonna go with some folk metal with Vintersorg and album Till Fjalls. So this is actually Vintersorg's debut full length. He did have an EP out previous to this. But this being the debut is actually still one of my favorite Vintersorg albums. He's gone in quite a few different directions over the course of his career, but in this early era, it was very much just like folk metal, but still with a root in black metal as well. There's a lot of harsh, raspy vocals, but then also his clean vocals are really what carry the songs here. It's just got such a rich, like, baritone voice. It's so unique, especially on these first couple albums. He did switch things up after that, go in a more progressive direction, and then also he joined Borknagar as their lead singer for quite a few albums, and actually his most recent album, Till Fjalls Part 2, is possibly my favorite Vintersorg album, but this one, wow, like all the songs on here, Till Fjalls, the title track, even though I do not speak the language, I still sing along to it because it is so goddamn catchy. Like there's folky melodies interwoven with these aggressive songs, and it's such a great atmosphere throughout that will just transport you. And yeah, I'm going to butcher all these song names, but basically I won't even try. From front to back, all of these songs here. See if you can read the song names on there. Maybe not, but everything on here really hits the mark. Awesome, awesome stuff. One of my favorites. Overall, I feel like Vintersorg needs more attention, and this is as good a place as any to start with the debut album. Alright, up next, a band that I consider to be severely underrated, and that's too bad because they have so many good albums, and that is Manila Road. The album I have here is The Deluge, which is actually my particular favorite album by Manila Road. They have a stretch in the middle of their career where they were putting out flawless album after flawless album, and this one, in my opinion, is their peak. This is when they brought in a new drummer, Randy Fox. He was actually on the previous album, but the songs were written before he had joined. This is the first album where he was really involved in the songwriting, and his influence is felt big time. It really steps up the speed and brings in a lot more thrashiness than some of their previous material. But honestly, front to back here, this album is just amazing. This is obviously a re-release with tons of bonus material. The booklet is just awesome too, like so much stuff going on in here, and then the booklet's got tons of goodies. Really awesome release, but yeah, front to back, this album kills. Shadow in the Black, Divine Victim, Hammer of the Witches, Isle of the Dead, The Deluge, Friction and Mass. These are all on this album. These are all Manila Road staples. Honestly, this band needs more love So much goodness here. This is just epic heavy metal, classic heavy metal, a touch of thrash influence in there in places, but yeah, some people don't like Mark Shelton's vocals, but give him a shot. Like, maybe on some of the early material, he was still developing his voice, but by this time, he sounds pretty good, and I really dig it. This is probably, like, I don't know, a top 10 epic heavy metal album of all time, in my opinion. It's just so goddamn good. Riffs for days, the solos are amazing, and I actually dig the vocals. Really catchy songs. If you're into just classic traditional heavy metal and have not given Manila Road a fair shot, go check out this album. It might change your opinion on them. Honestly, an amazing album. All right, let's switch gears once again, go with some death metal. This time from Brazil with Krisiun, and my favorite album by them, Ageless, Venomous. So this band, wow, yeah, back when I first heard them, absolutely blew me away. I saw these guys live, I don't even know how long ago it was now, 20 years ago almost, 15 years ago. I can't keep track of the dates, but they absolutely floored me. Was a fan ever since. And yeah, the guitar work on this album is insane. So many catchy little melodies, but it's, when I say little melodies, like, this is aggressive, in-your-face death metal. Like, no frills here, but the guitar work is the star of the show here. Like, the vocals are still very well done and very aggressive, but every song on here just kills. You got Dawn of Flagellation, the title track, Ageless, Venomous. If you've never heard the band before, go check out that track. It'll really give you a good example of what I'm talking about with how well the guitars are done, and then just how they can balance this really technical guitar playing and awesome lead work with the most aggressive heavy death metal. It's just absolutely awesome here. So many good tracks here. Ravenous Hordes, Sepulchral Oath, like, front to back, this album doesn't let up. It is my favorite Krisiun album. And yeah, Ageless, Venomous, definitely go check it out if you have not. All right, one more album to talk about today by a band that's always kind of hard to label, and that is Bal-Sagoth with their album, the Chthonic Chronicles. So this is a band from the UK. Well, I will loosely call them symphonic black metal, but there's a lot more influence going on than just that. There's like a power metal tinge in certain spots. Like, I would never call them a power metal band, but they just have this epic nature to their songwriting. Like, a lot of comparisons would be to something like Cradle of Filth. But the vocals are different, the storytelling is different, and it's just on another level. Like, this isn't my personal favorite Bal-Sagoth album, but I feel like this one gets overlooked a bit. It was their final album in their career. It doesn't get the same notoriety as some of their earlier works, and fair enough. Like, this isn't their best album, but there is still, like, from front to back, this is still not a bad album by any stretch. Like, I really dig it. The song titles are absolutely insane. Invocations Beyond the Outer World Night, Unfettering the Hoary Sentinels of Karnak. Like, everything on here is just a lengthy-ass title, but that's just what they're known for. Really awesome stuff. A very unique band, but if anything I just said sounds interesting, definitely go check them out. Check out all their albums because they're all really good. I just chose this one because I felt like in their whole discography, this one's probably the most underrated one. Like I said, it's not their best, but it's probably the most underrated, and it's definitely still worthy of a listen. So anyways, that's just 5 albums for today from my collection. 5 that I felt like talking about. It's always hard doing these videos, which albums I'm going to pick for that specific day. But yeah, I'm going to do one of these every month. So you can look forward to another 5 albums next month. So until next time, Hammer Heart Metal Reviews, out.